You're at the gym, surrounded by people, yet feeling like you're on an island of your own. The weight of judgmental glances bears down harder than any dumbbell. There's a frustration brewing inside you, a misunderstanding that builds an invisible wall between you and the rest. It's not what you say. It's not even what you do. It's the silent power, the unspoken cues that radiate from you, the very things that define your presence. Weakness shows itself in these moments. Others shrink, apologize for their confidence, dilute their presence to blend in. They become small in an attempt to please, to be liked, to avoid the discomfort of being misunderstood. But you are different. You embrace this power. You own the space you occupy. In a negotiation, you don't flinch. When faced with opposition, you don't retreat. Instead, you lean in, your silence louder than words. It's a statement in itself, commanding respect without uttering a single syllable. Is there a problem? You might say, not as a question, but as a challenge. A stoic, unwavering gaze, daring them to look beyond the facade of intimidation. This silent power isn't about intimidating on purpose. It's about authenticity, understanding that nonverbal cues can be both a shield and a sword. It's about knowing when to let it speak volumes and when to turn it down a notch. The barriers, they are real, but they are also manageable. Recognize them, learn from them, and let your presence be the bridge that connects rather than divides. But what if you fail to wield this power? What if instead of harnessing it, it slips through your fingers like grains of sand? Imagine standing in a room where every pair of eyes sees right through you, perceiving not strength but uncertainty. You step into situations, hoping to command attention, yet find yourself overshadowed by those more adept at capturing the room's energy. The opportunities, they slide past, offering their rewards to someone else. Picture this, a crucial business meeting, the stakes impossibly high. The room is alive with the energy of ambition. Your silence could have been your asset, but untrained, it becomes your downfall. Your hesitation, your lack of conviction in those silent moments speaks volumes. Others seize a momentum, their voices drowning out the opportunity for your unspoken authority to shine. Social defeat rears its ugly head, not through what you did, but through what you didn't. Failing to let your presence do the talking. Regrets will haunt those moments. An inner dialogue begins, questioning every action, every choice to remain passive. The path to reclaiming the silent power is fraught with realization and recalibration. Yet, it's a journey you must embark on. 1. Awareness. Start by becoming acutely aware of your physical presence. How do you enter a room? What energy do you emanate? Picture yourself as others might see you and adjust accordingly. A controlled posture, a firm stance, and a measured step all are part of the silent narrative you craft. 2. Intentional silence. Use silence intentionally. Not every gap in conversation needs to be filled. Instead, let pauses serve their purpose. These are moments to gather thoughts, to let others reflect on your words, or to command a room's attention without uttering a sound. 3. Nonverbal mastery. Your body speaks a language all its own. Master it. Engage with your audience through eye contact, a raised brow, a slight nod. These gestures can sway opinions and command respect as effectively as spoken words. 4. Controlled breathing. Maintain a steady, controlled breath. It keeps anxiety at bay and aids in delivering a calm, collected exterior. When your breathing is steady, so too is your mind. 5. Adaptability. Know when to adjust your silent power. Sometimes, a situation calls for more presence. Other times, a softer approach wins the day. Read the room and adjust your energy to match or counteract what's needed. 6. Reflection. After every interaction, reflect on how your presence was perceived. Was your silence effective? Did your aura resonate with your intentions? Continuous assessment leads to improvement. By following these steps, you fortify your presence, ensuring it is not just felt but revered. There's an art to silence, a strategy in its application. Master it, and you'll find that social boundaries crumble, opportunities flourish, and respect follows in your wake. Your presence is your power. Wield it wisely. You find yourself at the center of a negotiation at a bustling car dealership. The atmosphere is charged, the air thick with anticipation. The salesman stands before you, delivering his practiced pitches with precision and confidence. His words are meticulously chosen, designed to dazzle and sway, adorned with slick promises and flashy numbers that dance enticingly in the air. This is the moment that could define the outcome of your negotiation, a critical juncture that demands more than just words. Weak individuals, caught in the web of this high-stakes environment, often succumb to the pressure. They fill the silence with nervous chatter, their words spilling out in a rush to fill the void. They are pushed by the urgency of the moment, driven by the fear that silence equates to weakness. They speak too soon, too much, believing that their voice is their strongest tool when, in truth, their premature responses can betray them. But then there is the Stoic, the Alpha, who stand apart, embracing the silence as an ally rather than an adversary. Picture yourself in this role. The salesman, having laid down his offer, eagerly awaits your response. Instead of hurrying to speak, you remain silent, grounded, and observant. Your demeanor is calm, your gaze steady. The salesman, sensing the silence, presses further. This is the best deal you'll get today. Your response? A simple nod and continued silence. This isn't merely a pause. It is a calculated, potent statement. Your silence radiates confidence, signaling that you are not easily swayed. It shifts the power dynamic, compelling the salesman to reconsider his approach under the weight of your calm, stoic presence. The outcome of such a stance? The pressure subtly shifts. Your silence transforms into your strategic edge, quietly commanding respect without the need for words. It demonstrates that you are in control, that you possess an internal strength that is both formidable and undeniable. Now consider the alternative, the what-if disaster. Imagine faltering in this crucial moment, failing to employ the strategy of silence. You succumb to the pressure, filling the air with nervous chatter. Your words tumble out, each one a reflection of your anxiety. The salesman senses this weakness, honing in on your vulnerability. He knows he has the upper hand. The conversation spirals. You find yourself agreeing to terms you hadn't fully considered, nodding along as the salesman steers negotiation to his advantage. Every word you utter seems to diminish your position further, reducing your leverage bit by bit. You leave the dealership with a nagging sense of regret, burdened by the knowledge that you let the moment slip through your fingers. The glare of the defeat lingers, a stark reminder of what could have been had you embraced the power of silence. In high-pressure situations, the lesson is profound. Your calm and calculated silence can be an intimidating force, even without direct intent. It showcases control and power, a silent strength that others cannot overlook. Here's how to master this strategy step by step. 1. Preparation. Before entering the negotiation, prepare yourself mentally. Understand that silence is not a void to be filled, but tool to wield. Remind yourself that your goal is not to fill the space with words, but to use silence to command the room. 2. Grounding. As the conversation unfolds, ground yourself. Focus on your breathing to remain calm. Feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. This grounding will bolster your confidence, reinforcing your silent stance. 3. Observation. Use silence as a lens to observe. Watch the salesman's body language. Listen to the nuances in his voice. Your silence allows you to gather information, assess the situation, and strategize your next move. 4. Patience. Resist the urge to break the silence too soon. Allow it to stretch just long enough to become a presence in a room, forcing the salesperson to fill it with concessions rather than more pitches. 5. Response. When you do speak, make your words count. Keep them concise and impactful. The contrast between your silence and your words will amplify their power, further solidify your position of strength. Embrace the silence, for it is not an absence of speech, but a presence of power. Let it become your ally in negotiation, guiding you to outcomes that are not just victories, but statement of your control and authority. You're standing on a bustling street. A crowd gathers around a street performer. People are captivated, clapping, laughing, losing themselves in the moment. But not you. You stand apart, observing rather than participating. Weak individuals in this scenario might dive into the crowd, desperate for connection, eager to be part of the spectacle. They seek validation through engagement, becoming just another face in the throng. But the Stoic, the Alpha, does the opposite. You remain composed, a silent observer. Your presence alone draws attention, not through action, but through the sheer force of your quiet confidence. Others may whisper, "Who is that?" Your enigmatic aura makes you unapproachable, intriguing those around you without uttering a single word. This isn't about isolation. It's about the power of presence, the ability to command a space without needing to dominate it with noise or action. You understand that real power often speaks loudest in silence. Imagine, if you will, the consequences of failing to embrace this quiet confidence. You succumb to the pull of the crowd, abandoning your unique stance to blend into the throng. You become just another voice in cacophony, your individuality drowned out by the noise. As you push your way to the front, clapping along without thought, you notice a performer casting a glance your way, not a look of admiration, but one of disinterest. Your presence goes unnoticed, and any impact you hope to make dissipates into the air. Later, as the crowd disperses, you walk away with the nagging realization that your attempt to connect has left you feeling more isolated than ever. The immediate gratification of being part of the collective fades quickly, leaving behind a hollow sense of regret. You ponder over the fleeting nature of such a connection, recognizing that what you truly desire was not recognition within a crowd, but respect through distinction. 1. Recognize your environment. Before you act, observe. Take note of the energy, the dynamics, and the individuals around you. Understand that becoming a part of the crowd means relinquishing a part of your influence. 2. Control your urges. Resist the instinct to merge. The temptation to join is strong, driven by a primal desire for belonging. Instead, harness this urge as a reminder of your strength in solitude. 3. Cultivate your presence. Stand firm and still. Let your posture convey confidence and strength. Your nonverbal cues speak volumes, often more than words ever could. A simple, composed demeanor can ignite curiosity and command respect. 4. Engage selectively. By selectively choosing who you interact with, you elevate your stature. The less accessible you seem, the more value others place on their interactions with you. 5. Embrace the whisper. As others around you begin to notice your distinct presence, the whispers will follow. "Who is that?" becomes not just a question, but a mantra. Use this intrigue to your advantage, allowing your persona to become a topic of conversation. 6. Reflect and refine. After any public engagement, reflect on your approach. Did your presence speak louder than words? Did you leave an impression? Continuously refine your ability to command space with subtlety and intent. Failure to adhere to these principles results in the dilution of your presence and the diminishment of your influence. Cultivating an aura of mystery and strength takes discipline and awareness. Yet, the rewards, respect, intrigue, and undeniable presence are worth the effort. Real power often speaks loudest in silence, and by mastering this art, you set yourself apart in a world clamoring for attention. You are in a negotiation at a bustling farmer's market. The vendor insists on a price that doesn't sit right with you. Most would yield, fearing confrontation or simply wanting to avoid discomfort. But not you. You stand firm in your beliefs, embodying a resolute force that few possess. The weak often crumble here, conceding without a second thought. They try to appease, whispering, "Okay, fine, just escape the tension." This approach screams indecision and invites exploitation. You know that yielding, especially without a fight, seeds regret and a loss of self-respect. Consider the what-if disaster. You cave in, accepting the vendor's price simply to avoid the discomfort. As you walk away, you feel a hollow victory, a feeling that lingers and stings. The sense of defeat follows you, a shadow whispering doubts of your own resolve and questioning your ability to stand your ground in future encounters. This internal turmoil is the price of inaction, the cost of avoiding confrontation. In your heart, you know you could have done better. You could have been stronger. Instead, you are left with a gnawing regret of what could have been a missed opportunity to assert your value, both to the vendor and yourself. The Stoic, the Alpha, they approach it differently. Calm, assertive, and unwavering. You meet the vendor's gaze and say, "I understand your price, but I believe this is fair." No anger, no desperation, just quiet conviction. Your words come from a place of strength. They don't waver or apologize. Let's break it down step by step. First, preparation is key. Know the market, the going rates, and what you're willing to pay. Knowledge is power, and it bolsters your stance with credibility. Second, maintain composure. Emotional volatility is a weapon the vendor can use against you. A calm demeanor, however, will position you as an unshakable negotiator. Third, use silence as a tool. Once you've stated your position, let it linger. Oftentimes, it's the one who speaks next who loses ground. Finally, confidence in your posture and tone is paramount. Stand tall, speak clearly, and look them in the eye. This physical demonstration of confidence reinforces your verbal assertion. This unyielding stance can be intimidating. Why? Because it reveals a strength that can't be easily swayed, a confidence that doesn't flinch under pressure. The vendor senses this, and more often than not, respect follows. They see someone who is not just a customer but a force of nature, a person who values their own worth. Reflect on this. Unwavering confidence is a silent power. It can unsettle those who encounter it, forcing them to reconsider their own positions. In a world where many bend, being the unyielding can make all the difference. It sets you apart, marking you as someone who knows their worth and demands to be recognized. It teaches you that resilience isn't just about standing your ground, but about the internal victory of aligning your actions with your principles. In this dance of negotiation, you are not just buying a product. You are reinforcing your own narrative, crafting a story of personal power and integrity. With every firm yet fair negotiation, you build a reputation that precedes you, one of a person who knows their value and isn't afraid to claim it, and that in itself is worth more than anything money can buy. You're driving alone late at night. The road is silent. The world around you is asleep. It's just you and your thoughts, an opportunity to delve deep into corridors of your mind, examining each corner with a scrutinizing eye. This is a technique, embracing solitude and introspection. Weak individuals avoid these moments. They fill the silence with noise, the solitude with distractions. They fear the confrontation with their own thoughts, the haunting echoes of their unexamined lives. The result? A superficial existence driven by mindless activities and ephemeral pleasures. But not you. You're different. You embody the Stoic strength of the reflective. In this scenario, you understand the power of quiet contemplation. You delve into the depths of your mind, extracting insights and clarity. This deep, thoughtful aura becomes your silent power. Now, consider for a moment the what-if disaster. Imagine a life where these opportunities for introspection are consistently ignored. Picture the chaos of a mind left unattended, cluttered with unresolved issues and unexamined beliefs. Over time, this neglect leads to poor decisions, fractured relationships, and a perpetual sense of dissatisfaction. When you avoid introspection, you relinquish control over your own destiny, allowing the noise of the outside world to dictate your actions and identity. The stakes are high, missing out on personal growth, never reaching your potential, and ultimately, living a life that could have been so much more. But you don't fall into that trap. You embrace the solitude, recognizing it as a fertile ground for personal growth and insight. Here's how you do it, step by step. 1. Create the space. Choose a time and environment conducive to introspection. Late-night drives, quiet mornings, or solitary walks in nature are perfect as they minimize distractions. 2. Anchor yourself in the present. Begin with deep breathing to center your thoughts. This helps in opening the channels for deeper reflection. 3. Pose the questions. Ask yourself meaningful questions. What are your true desires? What fears lurk beneath the surface? By confronting these queries, you gain clarity on what drives you. 4. Listen without judgment. Allow your thoughts to surface without censorship. Accept them without criticism to understand your true self better. 5. Extract insights. As patterns and revelations emerge, distill these into actionable insights. How can you apply these realizations to your daily life? How do they align with your long-term goals? 6. Record and reflect. Document your thoughts to track your growth over time. This record serves as a touchstone for your journey, providing perspective on how far you've come and where you still wish to go. As you navigate through life with this reflective mindset, something happens. Friends and family start to notice. They find your depth intimidating. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they're drawn to your quiet confidence, yet unsettled by it. They sense the strength that comes from introspection. This is the outcome. Your silent power intimidates, not through words or actions, but through the weight of your presence. You don't need to speak loudly to be heard. You don't need to assert forcefully to be respected. Your reflective nature does the talking for you. Remember, the next time you're in that quiet drive late at night, embrace the solitude. Let your thoughts wander and explore. It's in these moments of introspection that you harness a silent power unmatched by the superficial bravado of others. By cultivating this reflective practice, you steer clear of the what-if disaster, ensuring a life of depth, clarity, and purposeful direction. You are in a coffee shop, a familiar haven where the aroma of freshly ground beans mingles with the soft hum of conversations. It's a place where you often find solace amidst the chaos of life, indulging in a moment of quiet reflection over your usual order of black coffee. Today, however, the barista, a new face amongst the regulars, hands you a latte instead. This seemingly minor mistake throws a wrench into the smooth gears of your routine, a disruption in the comforting predictability of your day. For many, such a moment might spark a series of internal conflicts. Weak individuals, those who haven't yet honed the skill of strategic confrontation, might grumble under their breath, accepting the error with a forced smile. They nurse their silent frustration, allowing the small oversight to gnaw at them, breeding a lingering resentment that shadows their day. Each sip of the unwanted latte becomes a bitter reminder of the failure to express dissatisfaction, cementing a pattern of passive acceptance that can spill over into other areas of life. But imagine the what a disaster, the scenario where the seemingly innocuous moment spirals into a pattern of social defeat. What if you never speak up, choosing instead to quietly accept every small slight, every minor error? Over time, this silence becomes your way of life, each unvoiced grievance stacking one upon the other like bricks in a wall that eventually confines you. In meetings, your ideas go unheard because you've conditioned yourself not to speak up. In relationships, your needs remain unmet because you've taught others to ignore your standards. The defeat isn't just momentary. It's a cascade of missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential, a life of quiet desperation and regret. Contrast this with the approach of the Stoic, the Alpha, who handles such disruptions with strategic grace. You take a breath, centering yourself before addressing the situation with poise and clarity. "Excuse me, I order black coffee," you state, your tone deliberate and your expression composed. You aren't just correcting a mistake. You're reaffirming your standards, establishing a firm yet respectful boundary. This is a strategic move, transforming a moment of potential defeat into a demonstration of silent strength. The staff, attuned to the unspoken nuances of your demeanor, feel the weight of your expectations. Your calm assertion of standards creates a ripple effect, prompting an immediate correction of the error. They meet this high bar you've set, not out of fear, but from a desire to match the quiet confidence you exude. Your presence alone demands excellence, shaping the environment not through intimidation, but through the subtle power of one who is deeply in tune with their desires and intentions. Reflect on this. High standards, when applied consistently and with quiet strength, are inherently transformative. They challenge those around you to rise to the occasion, setting a benchmark for quality and integrity that few dare to challenge. This silent power is not just about ensuring personal satisfaction. It's about crafting an environment where excellence becomes a norm. To wield this power effectively, one must understand the strategy step by step. First, cultivate self-awareness. Know precisely what you want and why it matters. This clarity forms the foundation of your expectations. Second, communicate assertively, not aggressively. Use calm, clear language to articulate your needs, ensuring your message is received without resistance. Third, maintain composure. Your demeanor should reflect your inner calm, even in the face of errors or opposition. Finally, embody consistency. Your standard should not waver, setting a reliable precedent that others grow to respect and emulate. By implementing this strategy, you not only avoid the pitfalls of social defeat, but also elevate your interactions, transforming everyday exchanges into opportunities for growth and excellence. In this way, the simple act of correcting a coffee order becomes a powerful metaphor for living a life defined by intentionality and quiet strength. You are in a negotiation. The room is tense, eyes darting as words weigh heavily in the air. Weak individuals might scramble, their voices rising in desperation, eager to fill the silence with noise. They fear the quiet because it exposes their uncertainty. But not you. You embrace the silence, allowing it to be your ally. This is your vision, a future where your presence commands, not because of volume, but because of its undeniable gravity. You understand that true power is felt, not heard. Visualize a cinematic future where your presence empowers all who encounter it. You don't need to shout to be heard. Your calm demeanor speaks volumes. By embodying Stoic principles, you foster an environment of understanding. You listen as much as you speak, showing strength through patience, not aggression. When the weak falter, you remain steadfast. Let's take a moment to reconsider. You say, your voice steady and assured. This simple line shifts the dynamics, illustrating your control over the situation without ever raising your voice. By transforming intimidation into inspiration, you become a beacon of confidence. Others look to you, seeking guidance in your composed authority. This silent power, once seen as intimidating, becomes a tool of inspiration and leadership. Realizing the potential of your silent power is the final insight. It's not just about commanding respect. It's about shaping a future where your presence instills courage and clarity in those around you. This is a true power of Stoicism, a force that transforms every interaction into an opportunity for profound influence. Imagine for a moment what happens if you fail to harness this quiet strength. The negotiation room changes dramatically. Instead of commanding the room with the gravity of your presence, you find yourself caught in the chaos of voices, your words lost in the din. The silence that could have been your ally turns into a haunting reminder of missed opportunities. Picture yourself engaging in a verbal tug-of-war, where raising your voice seems like the only option left. Your attempts to dominate are met with resistance, and instead of commanding respect, you find that your desperation has highlighted your uncertainty. The room, once yours to influence, now feels like a battlefield where you're struggling to be heard rather than understood. This is a social defeat that awaits when the power of Stoicism is neglected. Relationships strain under the weight of miscommunication, and opportunities for meaningful influence slip through your fingers. The regret that follows is palpable, a gnawing realization that a different approach could have turned the tide in your favor. To avoid this disaster, it is crucial to adopt a strategic approach to your interactions. Begin by mastering the art of the pause. Recognize that silence is not an absence of action, but a powerful tool that commands attention. Practice being comfortable in the quiet, using it to reflect and assess the situation as it unfolds. This deliberate pause allows you to gather your thoughts, ensuring that when you do speak, your words carry the weight of careful consideration. Next, prioritize listening. Understand that listening is not a passive act. It is an active engagement that fosters trust and respect. By truly hearing what others are saying, you can respond with insight and empathy, demonstrating that you value their perspectives. This creates an environment where others feel heard and understood, which strengthens your position as a leader. Maintain a steady tone. The way you speak can have a profound impact on how your message is received. A calm, measured tone exudes confidence and control, while an agitated or loud voice suggests insecurity and impatience. By keeping your tone steady, you convey a sense of composure that reinforces your authority. Finally, embody the Stoic values of resilience and composure. In situations where others might falter, your unwavering steadfastness becomes a source of inspiration. Confidence, after all, is contagious. When you project confidence through your composed demeanor, you inspire others to mirror your calmness, thereby transforming potential chaos into a harmonious dialogue. By embracing these principles, you transform your presence into a catalyst for change. You become not just a participant in negotiations, but a pivotal force that shapes outcomes. This is not about exerting dominance, but cultivating an aura of respect and admiration. With this approach, you wield a silent power that resonates long after conversation has ended, leaving a legacy of influence that endures.